Hi guys, welcome back again to my channel. My name is MC and you're watching SLE Canada, the place to be for international students, new immigrants who want to study, live, and explore their career and opportunities here in Canada. So if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss any videos. Upload every single week. As you know guys, that I'm launching my program this coming year 2021 and I'm having a free training this December 19 and it's gonna run for 2 weeks. So if you are interested to come here to Canada and want to have a successful career or even build a profitable business in Canada, might be your student for new immigrants, then I have a free training for that. If you want to know more about that, then check my description box. I have the registration there, and it's going to be fun and insightful training again for everyone. So I'll see you there, guys. So in today's video, we are going to have another success story. Yes, another success story for one of our international students here in Canada. Her name is Faye Mac. Faye Mac is a vlogger, entrepreneur, and she's originally from Nigeria. She came here as an international student at Mount Vincent University. So now she has a permanent residency status. So in this video, she will walk you through her journey and she will teach you some of the strategies that she implemented when she was looking for a first full-time job and also for the permanent residency. So what I like about Faye Mac, she's entrepreneur, so we are so connected so much. And I also visited her channel. I think that was last week and I guested there, and you should watch that video because that video is more like very personal. I shared some of my personal stuff like about dating or about like moving to different provinces. It was just a fun conversation, so you want to check that video, and that would be in Faye's Mac YouTube channel. I have it in my description box. So yeah, let's begin. Hi Faye Mac, welcome to SLE Canada.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you for giving us some time. I know you're so busy.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited to hear your story.
Thank you.
But guys, Faye Mac is a co-vlogger as well. She has a YouTube channel, and maybe you wanted to invite them first.
Yes. The name of my YouTube channel is Faye Mac, just as my name says, and I post about life in Canada as a new immigrant and how to actually move to Canada, whether as a student, as a PR, the different routes. So I kind of break everything down on my channel. So if you would subscribe, that would be great.
Yes, and I will leave the link in my description box so you can subscribe after watching this video. But let's start, and I want to hear more about like yourself. Can you tell us more about yourself so our viewers will get to know you?
Yes. So my name is Faye Mac. I am a young professional here in Toronto, Canada. I am a YouTuber, content creator. I work in the financial services industry as well. I am a professional photographer. Did I say that? I'm excited to be a photographer. So yeah, those are some of the things I do. I have a very strong entrepreneurial spirit, so I'm always into business one way or the other. Yeah, that's about me. I'm married and I live here in Ontario with my husband. I moved to Canada as an international student 5 years ago in 2015, and now I'm a permanent resident here in Canada. So yeah, that's a little bit of an introduction.
But I want to know more about like that, like those experiences that you had before. You said you're a professional photographer, and then you're doing some things.
Yeah. So
Did you
before
do
I
that
moved
while
to
you're
Canada,
studying?
So yes, I didn't do a lot of professional photography while I was studying, but
Yeah,
I worked 2 jobs while I was taking my master's degree.
yeah.
I worked, as a project coordinator, program coordinator. I did a little bit of photography, but not a lot because I didn't want to lose focus. So yeah, I did a little bit of that while studying.
Okay, so was it hard for you to get your study permit?
Not really, no, because I feel like my application was pretty simple. at the time that I was moving to Canada, I was just about a year out of school, out of university, right? And then, I had worked for 1 year as well, and I was being sponsored by my parents. I was coming
Yeah.
from a master's that was related to my bachelor's degree. So that's what I would term a simple application, right? There wasn't really anything that had to be explained to the visa officer. So it was pretty straightforward for me, yeah.
I think you said like you came here in 2015. Am I right?
Yeah.
So during that time, the study permit pathway to immigrate was not that popular, right?
Yes.
Or maybe that's the reason. I don't know.
So as at then, we also had our forum, right? Right? Where a lot of people were getting denied, a lot of people were getting rejected. So
Oh, okay.
the rejection rate had always been high for international students from
Mhm.
Nigeria for some reason. So, if there's anything that makes your application complicated, that's opportunity for disaster, right? So
Yes.
yeah, that's why I say it was pretty much a simple application for me, but I'm sure it wasn't exactly the same for everyone else during that year.
But did you do it yourself or did you hire a consultant?
I hired a consultant for my study permit. But at the same time, for me, when I hired a consultant in Nigeria, I still ended up doing a lot of the work myself. And after doing my postgraduate work permit application myself and doing my PR application myself, I find that they're not that much different in terms of how it happens, right? It's all online, so.
Yeah, that's good. And also, you have to work with your consultant. You just don't depend on them. It needs to be like a collaborative approach, right?
Exactly. It was very collaborative. I still had a lot of work to do, right? So yeah.
Okay. I don't know if you mentioned like the program that you took. Did you mention that?
So I took the Master of Public Relations program at Mount St. Vincent University in Nova
Okay,
Scotia.
that's a master's degree that you can only find in Mount Vincent. Am I
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
So now, Faye, I want to know like what were your challenges when you came here to Canada as a newcomer?
So my first challenge was definitely the weather. I come from Nigeria where it's pretty warm. Average is like 25 degrees Celsius. And I had never experienced anything like the Canadian winter. Now,
Yeah.
when you're moving to Canada, you do the research and you see online, right? Like you look at it online, but nothing really prepares you for what you're about to experience. So that's kind of what happened with me because, I had traveled a bit and I had experienced other winters, but it's nothing like the Canadian winter, and I was in Nova Scotia. We get a lot of snow in Nova Scotia. It was a lot. Okay. So that was something I had to get used to. There were times when, I would feel like it's a lot of snow, but the school isn't closed. So
Actually, they actually close it, right? But like,
on really bad like winter days, like during blizzards, they'll close it. But sometimes one professor would decide, no, my class is holding,
what?
and they better be there. So, those kind of situations, I'm like, and one thing about Canada is even when it's snowing like crazy, people are still outside. People are still going to work. So if you have to go to work, you have to go to work. Like, your coworkers are going to be at work. Everyone else is going to be at work except you. So you can't just say, oh, the weather is bad and that's it, right? So you still kind of have to get used to it. You have to acclimatize. I was lucky to have a boss that was very considerate and let me work from home, some days that I couldn't handle the snow. So that was one challenge that I had, the cold. And honestly, I feel like I can never get used to it. Just I just have to dress for the weather and just brave it, basically.
Life goes on.
Yes, life goes on. Life is not going to stop because Faye is scared of the snow.
And you know what's weird? They cancel the school, and then there's no, and then the weather looks great, and then they will not cancel the school if there's like blizzard.
Bad,
That happened to
exactly.
me when I was in
So
Nova
it's
Scotia.
weird. It's weird like that. But the second challenge that I will talk about is getting a rental. Now,
Yeah.
for me, it wasn't that difficult because I was able to have an understanding with the company that managed the building that I rented. Um, and the understanding was that I would pay my rent every 3 months. So I pay 3 months upfront every time.
Oh,
And that
okay.
was because I didn't have the documentation that was needed. Landlords usually ask for employment letters, credit history. Um, Sometimes some of them would even ask for like your statements and stuff, which is like, like I know it's very personal, right?
Mhm.
So I didn't have any of that. I was new to the country, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was even trying to secure it from back home in Nigeria. I was doing that online. So what I just told them was, I'm a student. I sent them my student documentation, and we came to the agreement that since I don't have a guarantor that is Canadian, I could pay my rent every 3 months. So
Oh
that
my
that is a challenge that newcomers face because that's in Halifax, Nova Scotia. In
Mhm.
places like Toronto, they're gonna ask you for 6 months rent or something ridiculous, right?
Yes, they're gonna ask like checks, and then
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna ask like CRS score. Like
Yeah,
you're not expect a newcomer to have a high score. Come
I know
on.
the credit score. Yeah, so that's how it is.
My credit
That's
score,
the
I was talking
challenge.
about CRS.
I'm sorry.
So like the credit score. I was talking
Yeah,
about credit score.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
That's
So there's that, and then the last challenge that I would mention is Canadian experience. Almighty Canadian experience. Employers expect you to have Canadian experience for some reason,
yeah.
even though you're new to the country. And some of them will tell you that, they can some agencies will tell you that they can't work with you if you don't have Canadian experience. Like they can't work with you to help you get a job. There's some agents that are known to do that. And
Mm,
we find it quite discriminatory because
mm.
we've come to Canada as new immigrants, as skilled workers, or whatever, and then you can't get a job because you don't have Canadian experience. So that is very tough. There's no way for you to get Canadian experience if you don't get the opportunity to work
If you don't give
because
me
you
a
don't
job,
have Canadian experience.
doesn't
So
make any sense,
it
right?
doesn't make any sense. And the only other way is to volunteer your time. And with the bills in Canada compared to where the country you're coming from, the bills are pretty high here, right? So it's not easy for everyone to say yes, I'm going to volunteer and work for free. It's not
Mhm.
realistic for everyone to be able to do that. So that is a major challenge that people have. A lot of people are also termed overqualified,
Mm.
but they're applying to those jobs because they need it, right?
Mhm.
So even those jobs that, those people that are overqualified, some of them can't get those highly qualified jobs, and they
Mhm.
will get the smaller ones too because they're termed overqualified. So jobs in Canada, for some people, it's easy. For some people, it's
It's
not so
not.
easy.
Yes, that's true. So now, but how did you overcome those challenges?
Hmm. So for the winter, like I said, I had to invest in good clothing, good winter clothing.
Good
You need
shoes.
at least one good winter jacket, a very good one, and then winter boots as well. You cannot be stingy because
Yeah.
you're going to fall. Okay, if you do not invest in good quality winter gear, you're going to fall flat on your bum, and nobody's gonna be there to help you.
You're gonna break your bone.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
So I invested in good quality winter gear. It still doesn't mean you're not gonna fall, but at least it's gonna reduce the chances, right? Winter tires, things like that, very important. Also working from home now with this whole, pandemic is good because we don't have to, go through all this, drive through all this snow right now and commute. Um,
Yes.
but for the jobs, the way I got my first full-time job after school was through one of the jobs that I was doing while I was in school. So I met somebody who I had invited as a guest speaker for one of the events that I had managed to
Wow.
coordinate. And she really liked me and decided that she was going to hire me when I graduated. So that was how I got my first full-time job. And of course,
Okay.
that tackled the Canadian experience issue. And I was able to get Canadian experience that way. Even while I was in school, I got Canadian experience, but it wasn't
Mhm.
full-time at that time, right? So, yeah.
So, what are your tips when you're getting a full-time job? Again, number one is you got your full-time job through networking, right?
Networking, yes. That's always my number one tip. You
That's
have to network. One thing that I always say is that we don't have that social currency that we had from back home. Wherever country you've come from, you have your parents there, you have family there, you have people that know people that know people that are hiring. Here,
true.
it's just you. It's just you. So you now have to do the whole 10 years worth of networking that can
Mhm.
help you land the kind of jobs that you need. So I
Mhm.
really believe in networking, booking coffee chats with people, booking informational sessions with people who are in positions that you would like to be in, reaching
Mhm.
out to people on LinkedIn, updating your LinkedIn profile. It's very important. I feel like networking can do wonders for you and for your career.
Yes, definitely. Like
Yeah.
in my case, all my part-time jobs were through networking. And that's
Hmm.
like, it's so effective. Again, if you're going to connect with people, make sure that you exerted effort and, show some affection that you wanted to know them,
Yeah.
right?
Don't just take people's cards and put it in your wallet and forget about it. That doesn't do anything. It doesn't work.
You have to build rapport and like relationship with them,
Yes, that's
right?
so the next point that I have for tackling the issue of jobs would be um tailoring your resume to the jobs that you're applying for. It's good to have one generic resume, yes, but if you send one generic resume to 200 jobs, chances are that you're not going to get calls back, right? Because there's the ATS system that's just going to filter all the resumes and pick out the ones that are matching closely to the job description that it posts,
Mhm.
right? So you have to make sure that you use keywords and important words from the job posting in your resume that you're submitting. So it's very important. You can't just send out 200 of the same resume for
Yes.
different kinds of jobs and expect positive feedback, right? So that's
Yeah.
important. And lastly, the interview skills are important.
Mhm.
Canadians during interviews compared to back home in Nigeria, where interviews are extremely formal, here they're
Mhm.
a bit lax.
Relax. Yeah.
They want to have conversation with you. They want to know about you as an individual, not just your professional
Yeah.
achievements and educational background. They've already seen all of that on your resume, right? So they want to now get to know you as an individual and see
Mhm.
how well you can communicate and how well you fit into their teams. So you need
Yeah.
to be able to show that you're going to be a good team member. You're going to be a fun team member to have, a motivated team member to have. So it's very important for you to leverage resources, look for people who can conduct mock interviews for you or with you, people who are in the industry, who are hiring managers themselves that can tell you what
Mhm.
you're doing wrong and what you need to do better. These people you can find again through networking,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So there's that. There's also YouTube. You can search, for interviews. Every time I have an interview, I go online and I say interviews for this, interviews for that, and I see videos and I digest all the information there. And, it makes a lot of sense for you to just do that research and use that in your interviews. You will get a lot of skills from that, from those videos.
And also, like in schools, they have different workshops that you can attend,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah,
And
I love that.
as well as for resume building, like effective strategies that you can use.
Yes, that's true.
Yes. Okay, let's move on. Wait, next page. So now you moved to from Nova Scotia to Toronto, right? You got it.
Yeah,
Your Where did you get the first full time job? Was it in Nova Scotia or
yeah.
in Toronto?
It was in Nova Scotia.
Okay. But why did you
Mhm.
move from Nova Scotia to Toronto?
So I moved from Nova Scotia to Ontario because um I got a job offer here in Ontario. So I didn't move directly to Toronto. I first moved to Ancaster, which is a smaller city in Ontario.
Really?
That was where, yeah, so I got promoted, or I got offered a higher role in my organization, and then it was in Ancaster. So I went directly to Ancaster. After Ancaster, I moved to Brampton, and then I moved to Toronto. So I've been moving.
You did a lot of moving there.
Exactly. So I've done a bit of that. Yeah. So that's what brought me to Ontario. Better job opportunities, basically.
Yes, yes. But
Mhm.
you got your PR
Mhm.
through Federal Skilled Worker Program when
Yeah,
you were still in Nova Scotia. Am I correct?
correct.
Tell
While
me
I was
more
on my
about that.
postgraduate work permit, yeah, while I was on my postgraduate work permit, at that time I was waiting to get the complete 1 year skilled work experience so I could apply for Canadian experience class. And then my siblings moved to Canada, and they were like, "Why are you waiting? You could just use your experience from Nigeria." I was like, "Oh, I want to do the Canadian experience class because I know it would be faster because they can verify everything in the Canadian employment whatever here. They can see my taxes. They know that I really work, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, I just used my experience from Nigeria. I applied for the Federal Skilled Worker Program, and then my application took only 4 weeks. So I was like, oh my gosh, I should have
Yeah.
applied for this a long time ago. I could have even applied like long before when I did, right? So yeah.
And that was the time when they like the express entry system is pretty new,
Yes,
right?
yes. So, well, not really. At the time that it was new, I had just moved to Canada as an international
Oh,
student.
okay.
But
Yeah.
when I applied, I had already graduated and worked for a little bit. So this was around 2018.
Mhm.
Um, but it was in Nova Scotia, so I guess that contributed to why it was a bit faster. Because my application was processed in Nova Scotia.
Yeah, but that was crazy. 4 weeks.
Yeah.
You got your
Mhm.
PR within 4 weeks of, like from the moment you got your invitation from IRCC.
Right.
Oh,
So I got into the pool on a Tuesday, and then I got invited on Wednesday, the next day, and then I put in my application.
and then after 4 weeks, boom, your PR.
Yeah, I got all my documents ready ahead of time, got
I
everything.
I wish it's still, the same, but
I
it's
know,
not
I
gonna be
know.
the same.
Not so easy, not so fast anymore.
You have to go through the painful process of immigration, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So now I want to hear your final word to all our viewers. Like, what will be your advice? The biggest, like the greatest advice for them.
My greatest advice would be keep your eyes on the prize.
Mhm.
It's very easy as an international student to get distracted by a lot of things. Look, when I was an international student, I had a very straight, straightforward lifestyle. I'll go to school, come back home, go to work, and back home. Like I wasn't, indulging in a lot of the whole social. I mean, it's good to have a social life, but you need to focus, especially if you're coming for a master's, because the requirements are really, really tough. You
Yeah.
cannot go below a 3.0 GPA. You cannot have less than a B grade in more than two courses, otherwise you're going to get kicked out, right? So you need to focus, know why you're here,
Yes.
focus and get that prize, and then after you can have a life.
You can do whatever you want, right?
You can do whatever you want, but just make sure that the money you're spending to come here as an international student does not go to waste, because it's
Yes.
very easy for that to happen if you get carried away. So keep your eyes on the prize. Don't get carried away. Focus. Graduate from school with good grades, because guess what? Some jobs would ask for your transcript, right? Some
Really?
jobs, yes, I've had a job that
Oh my
that I
god.
had to submit my transcript. Okay,
What?
so take it seriously. Don't just say, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna pass and graduate." No, actually be serious, because you never know when it's going to come in handy for you, right?
Yeah.
I ended up getting my transcript for a job 2 years after, over 2 years after I graduated. That's
I
when my
didn't know
transcript
that they
came in handy.
asked that. And never happened to me, really.
Yeah.
Someone told me that they will not ask for it, but this is my first time to hear that.
Yeah. I used to say they wouldn't ask for it until I experienced it myself. Right?
That's
So so be serious in school, okay? But yeah, that's what I would say. Focus and keep your eyes on the prize.
But thank you, Faye, for sharing your story. It's just so cool to hear those things. Like if you came here 2015 and now you're already settled, you moved to different provinces and you're not afraid, right? And those tips that you share, they're really effective. Even it worked for me. And yeah, thank you, Faye. And I want to please invite you to go to your channel.
Please do check out my videos. I have lots of videos about just life in Canada,
Yeah.
mistakes that newcomers make, why not to move to Canada, my biggest regrets about my relocation process. There's a lot to learn from it. So definitely go ahead and check out my channel. Again, the name is Faye Mac.
Yes, thank you, Faye Mac, and I'll see you soon to your channel. I'll be visiting your channels.
Yes, for sure. Thank you for having me. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay.